You're watching Global Watch on CGTN. Now we turn to New Zealand. The country has declared a national state of emergency due to the impacts of Cyclone Gabrielle. For more on that, let's cross live to our correspondent, Owen Poland in Auckland. Owen, how's the country coping?
Well, the rain may have stopped here in Auckland, but the gale-force winds are absolutely relentless, gusting up to 120 kilometres an hour. And that's expected to continue for many hours yet, even though Cyclone Gabrielle has now moved off the east coast of New Zealand. The impact is being felt across the entire North Island. And the government, as you say, has announced a national state of emergency for only the third time in New Zealand's history. The last time being for the COVID-19 pandemic, which gives you an idea of just how seriously this event is being taken. The National Emergency Minister says this is a significant disaster with a real threat to the lives of New Zealanders. In the east coast city of Napier, an entire suburb of 1,200 people had to be evacuated after a river burst its banks, and people were literally told to run for their lives and head for the hills. In some low-lying areas, dozens of people have been trapped in their cars and on rooftops by flash flooding after 10 inches of rain fell in less than 24 hours, and military helicopters have now been called in to help rescue them.
So, Owen, what are the specific measures under this national state of emergency, especially for local residents?
Well, entire regions have been isolated after state highways were cut off by collapsed bridges, flooding and landslips. And one East Coast community has lost its power, phone and internet connections after a major communications cable was cut. Across the North Island, more than 200,000 people have now lost their power, and one area has been told it could take days and even weeks to restore their electricity. On the west coast near Auckland, there's a desperate search taking place for a missing volunteer firefighter who was swept away in a landslide last night while he was checking flooding at a house. Prime Minister Chris Hipkins has described Cyclone Gabrielle as one of the biggest weather events in our history, and he says the government will be throwing everything at the disaster to provide as much support as possible. The Prime Minister says he's also very aware of the mental health impact of this disaster on top of all the recent flooding, and his focus is to provide help to families who are already suffering from financial stress caused by the global recession. One thing's for sure, this is going to be one Valentine's Day that New Zealanders will never forget.
Thank you very much and take care. Our correspondent Owen Poland in Auckland.